Episode 11, Reflections. Previously on Tongue of the Serpent, Mercy remembered what the fire tried to erase. A child taken, a lie built in the name of protection, and a truth that refused to stay buried. The past opened its mouth and spoke. At the Krewe of the Morningstar, the house itself began to listen. Symbols returned. Old names surfaced, and what had been hidden behind ritual and silence finally broke through the veil of time. Mercy is no longer alone in remembering. Lucien's family history has begun to surface. The Renault sisters have uncovered the language of an older danger, and the city of New Orleans has started to respond. Some doors do not close when we leave them. They remember us. This is Season 3, Episode 11 of Tongue of the Serpent, Reflections. In this chapter, the past does not simply return, it looks back. Sabine reaches through glass and water. The Krewe becomes a listening instrument. A stranger closes a door among the graves, and every mirror begins to ask the same question: who is calling, and who is being called home? Some surfaces are not meant to be silent. Some reflections are not merely images. They are openings. This is Reflections. Prologue: The Mirror and the Moon. Lucien Devereaux liked the shop best after closing, when even the ghosts had grown drowsy. The streets of the quarter breathed quietly beyond the window panes, accordion music fading into the smell of rain and coffee grounds. Inside, the Krewe of the Morningstar held its own kind of hush, a thick, almost devotional silence, as though the house were waiting to see what story it would be asked to tell next. Lucien worked at the long table near the window, sleeves rolled to the elbows, a silver cloth draped across his lap. Before him stood a mirror taller than he was, an antique piece meant for a patron's parlor, its mahogany frame curled in Baroque spirals, every flourish carved with something that looked like almost a wing. He'd been restoring it for days, each pass of the rag peeling back time like old paint. Tonight, the moonlight poured through the rose-glass transom, soft and distorted. In that fractured light, the mirror didn't just reflect, it seemed to breathe. Lucien paused mid-polish. His reflection blinked a half-second late. The air cooled as if the glass had drawn a breath inward and held it. He exhaled carefully.
Not tonight,
he murmured.
It's been quiet enough.
The mirror disagreed. A ripple moved through its surface, slow, deliberate, not an accident of light. He watched it form, watched it settle into a shimmer that resolved impossibly into the courtyard fountain behind him. Only not as it was now. The moonlight in the reflection was colder. The water was deeper, older, rippling around a figure who stood half-shadowed among the lilies. Sabine. Her hair floated in the water like ink. Her eyes were pale flame. Her expression, oh, that expression, part longing, part warning. One hand was lifted, palm pressed to the inside of the mirror, as if she could step through, if only he would let her. Lucien's heart gave one painful beat. He hadn't spoken her name aloud in weeks, hadn't dared to. Names were invitations, and the dead were terrible guests.
Sabine.
It slipped out anyway, a whisper wrapped in reverence and regret. The mirror responded. A single crack traced itself down the center, quick as lightning, fine as a hairline. It didn't reach the frame. It stopped at her throat. The sound it made was quiet, but unmistakable. The intimate crack of something too fragile to mend. The scent of the courtyard came through next. Wet stone, night-blooming jasmine, the faint mineral tang of old tears. He reached out without meaning to. His fingertips brushed the surface. The glass was not cold. It was fever-warm, pulsing faintly beneath his skin like a heartbeat. Sabine's mouth moved. He couldn't hear her, but he could read it. 2 words, shaped precisely and with urgency.
Help her.
Then the light in the mirror flickered, as though a candle had guttered inside the reflection. The water stilled. The fountain vanished. Only his face remained, drawn, uncertain, a single crack bisecting it from brow to chin. Lucien took a step back. The room tilted. Behind him, the sound of dripping continued, even though no leak existed. He stared for a long moment, pulse too loud, trying to find something rational to anchor to. The temperature shift, the vibration in the glass, the way the mind fills silence with memory. But he knew the truth before he let himself name it. Sabine was reaching through again. He folded the polishing cloth over his hand and gently covered the mirror, draping it like a shroud. The linen muffled the reflected light until only a faint, silvery glow seeped through.
Not tonight,
he said again, but this time it came out like a plea.
Please.
He stood there until the glow faded. Only then did he notice the faint crescent of water beneath the mirror's feet. Not much, just a shimmer that soaked into the old floorboards and disappeared. Lucien exhaled. The air in the crew settled, not peacefully, exactly, but watchful. He blew out the nearby candle, then another, until the room was lit only by the dull pulse of moonlight through rose-colored glass.
Help her.
He whispered again, testing the shape of the words. The echo didn't answer, but somewhere in the back room, the angel egg gave one small, sympathetic hum, gold fainting gently beneath its silken cover, as if it too had heard. Lucien closed his eyes and pretended it was coincidence, but the silence that followed felt too alive to believe him. Water remembers. Morning came in colors the crew hadn't ordered. Sunlight pushed through the stained glass in slow, syrupy panes, ruby, amber, green, and laid itself across the floorboards like it was remembering how to be water. The shop always woke up like an old cathedral. One groan from the rafters, one sigh from the stairs, a faint scent of incense even when no one had lit it. Evelyn was already up, sleeves rolled to mid-forearm, dark honey hair piled high in its usual imperious twist. She moved through the front room the way a spell moves through a circle, unhurried, inevitable. On the counter, a copper kettle steamed, beside it a row of cups, waiting like parishioners. She measured out tea leaves, lapsing because today felt like it needed smoke, and let the water bloom over them. Behind her, 3 different mirrors tilted of their own accord. Not dramatically, not in the theater-friendly way cursed objects like to toss themselves about, just correcting. One by the door, angled to catch the light from Chartres Street. One over the jewelry case, turned to face the courtyard. The hand mirror on the shelf, an old foxed piece Renard had brought in with a shrug, rolled from its side to sit upright, pointed directly at the backroom door where the angel egg was sleeping. Evelyn glanced at them over her shoulder.
"None of that,"
she said mildly.
"It's morning."
The largest mirror stilled, but its reflection continued to breathe, a fraction faster than the room. Footsteps on the stairs. Lucien came down from the apartment above, like a man who had made it through the night, but hadn't quite convinced the night to let go. His coat was slung over one shoulder, his ginger hair was a little wild, and there was the smallest, betraying cuts along his fingertips, the kind that came from glass that didn't want to stay mended.
"You didn't sleep,"
Evelyn said, pouring tea.
I negotiated with insomnia.
He said, leaning against the counter.
We reached an impasse.
She slid a cup toward him.
"Did you cut yourself on anything in particular?"
An opinionated mirror.
He said.
I should start charging for restoration and spiritual counseling.
Her eyes flicked to his hands.
"Sabine."
He didn't answer at once. Lucien was many things, but he was careful with grief.
She attempted a visit through the cheval piece. Said nothing. Broke the glass.
"She said nothing?"
Evelyn repeated.
"Or, she said things you don't want to tell me yet?"
His mouth quirked.
You are very tiresome.
"I am very accurate,"
she said, and handed him the cup. He accepted it, but the surface of the tea did something tea does not do. Instead of showing the ceiling and a sliver of lantern, it reflected a courtyard none of them were standing in. Still water, moonlight, a pale woman's face in the center, hair floating, eyes fixed. Sabine. Evelyn went still. Lucien stared down into his own drink, and for a second it looked like he might drop it.
"She's getting bolder,"
Evelyn murmured.
"Or desperate."
It was like this in the mirror.
Lucien said low.
Last night. Fountain, hand, her mouth. Help her.
Evelyn frowned.
"Help who?"
She didn't say.
He said.
But I'm beginning to suspect that the dead think context is vulgar.
The tea surface rippled, and in that ripple, Evelyn saw something else. Almost too quick to name. 2 small wing shapes, curling inward like the spiral she'd seen burned into Mercy's floor and scratched onto Sabine's locket. It was gone a heartbeat later, swallowed by ordinary brown liquid. She set her own cup down.
"That symbol again."
Lucien nodded.
Alice found it in the Renault papers. Mercy drew it without knowing why. Sabine's wearing it in her grave. Now it wants to swim in our tea.
"It's not a haunting."
Evelyn said slowly.
It's a network.
He looked at her.
Explain.
Reflections, water, glass, memory. They're all surfaces. Doors if you press hard enough,
she said, gesturing toward the drifting mirrors.
If Sabine's tied to the fountain, to water, and Mercy's tied to the veil, also a kind of membrane, then it makes sense. The magic is looking for other reflective places to speak through. It's the easiest path.
Like light.
He murmured.
Bending.
Like grief.
She corrected.
Finding any angle it can.
One of the smaller mirrors, the oval one by the register, lit out the faintest ping, as if to agree. Lucien took a drink anyway. Sabine's face did not reappear.
We can't let this keep spreading,
he said.
If every bit of glass in the quarter starts reproducing ghosts, we'll have tourists screaming about their grandmothers in every hotel.
Evelyn arched a brow.
We run a haunted antique shop, Lucien. We are, at best, glass negotiators.
He laughed then, actual laughter, quick and surprised, and some of the tension left the room.
Fair. Still, I would like to be reassured that the mirrors in this building knows who's in charge.
They do,
she said.
They just think it's Sabine.
He sobered, thumb running along the tip of his cup.
She looked not angry, not vengeful, but more like she'd been shouting in another room and finally found the door.
Help her,
Evelyn repeated.
She didn't mean herself?
No.
Mercy?
Evelyn said.
Lenore? The egg?
All of the above?
He said.
She was always ambitious.
They drank in silence for a moment. The morning sounds of the quarter filtered in. A carriage on cobblestones. Someone arguing with a cat. A vendor shouting about pralines, like the world would end if they weren't purchased immediately. Then, very softly, from the back room, came the now familiar hum, the angel egg, sensing an emotional spike and responding like a sympathetic instrument. Gold light seeped under the door, pale but present. It made the mirrors shiver.
Enough,
Evelyn said over her shoulder, to the building, to the glass, to the waking magic.
We are not doing a full seance before breakfast.
The light dimmed. The humming softened. Sulky but obedient. Lucien watched her with open fondness.
You talk to it like it's a child.
It is a child,
she said.
Or a memory of one. Or a possibility. Whichever is most dangerous.
You don't even know what it is.
I don't,
she agreed.
But I know when something wants to belong, and I know when something wants to interfere.
They finished their tea. The sunlight in the front room brightened. The mirrors stopped drifting, at least for the moment, pretending to be mere furniture. Evelyn wiped her hands on a linen towel.
We should cleanse the mirrors tonight,
she said.
Not banish, just remind.
Remind?
That this is our house,
she said.
That Sabine is welcome to talk, but not to scatter herself through every cup and window pane in New Orleans. Conversation, not Occupation.
Lucien nodded slowly.
A parley with the dead.
Exactly.
He looked toward the covered mirror in the corner, the one he'd shrouded the night before. For a second, he considered telling her just how strong Sabine's plea had felt, how the glass had been warm, how the crack had sounded like the one in his chest when he first learned his sister had drowned. Instead, he said,
I'll brew something for it.
Tea for ghosts?
Better.
He said.
Water for remembering.
She smiled.
Then tonight.
Tonight.
He echoed. The bell above the door rang as the day's first customer stepped in, trailing curiosity and the smell of rain. Evelyn turned toward them, already wearing her shopkeeper's welcome. Lucien stayed a moment longer, fingers absently touching the faint line the glass had left on his skin. In the reflection of the teapot, for just an instant, Sabine's face appeared again, not pleading this time, only watching. Then the steam blurred her away, as if even memory had to make room for business hours. Midday, the song among the graves. Grainwood Cemetery shimmered in the heat. The marble vaults were so bright they hurt to look at, and the air carried that faint copper taste New Orleans gets when the dead start whispering too close to noon. Celeste Renault knelt beside a weather-worn angel, camera poised, eyes narrowed against the glare. Her dark hair, long and usually neat, had curled in the humidity and stuck to her neck in loose, defiant strands. A light sundress the color of faded lavender brushed against her knees. She liked the stillness of graveyards, the quiet hum beneath the cicadas, the sense that even time slowed down to pay respects. She pressed the shutter once, twice, then stopped. Something was wrong with the light. It tilted just slightly, as though the day had bent sideways. Her reflection in the angel's marble wings blinked half a second late. Celeste frowned.
Not funny.
She murmured to no one, brushing hair from her face. The shadow under the angel twitched. And then she wasn't alone. A voice came from behind her, low and amused.
Usually, they wait until sunset to start showing off.
She spun, heart racing. A man leaned casually against a nearby monument, coat slung over one shoulder despite the heat. Dark curls damp at his temples, eyes like the color of storm water just before it breaks. Celeste took a step back.
Excuse me?
He nodded toward the statue.
That one's trying to wake up. Best to move.
I think I would notice if a statue woke up.
He smiled faintly.
You'd think that, but they're shy, the old ones. Don't like being photographed.
The angel's stone eyes glinted, catching light that wasn't there. A hum rose from the marble, low and pulsing, vibrating through Celeste's bones. She stumbled, dropping her camera. He was beside her before she could fall, steadying her with one hand. His touch was warm, too warm for the air around them, which had gone cold as water.
Don't look directly,
He said softly.
They always want you to look.
What is it?
She whispered.
A memory that forgot how to stay still.
The vault behind the angel cracked open, just enough to let the light leak through. A woman's figure began to take shape inside it, made of dust and song. her face a blur of yearning. Celeste's throat tightened.
She's singing.
She's trying to finish a prayer.
He said.
The kind that never should have worked.
The ghost reached toward her. The air shimmered, bending around her like a heat mirage. The man moved quickly, tracing a sign in the air, something small, graceful, fox-like. For a moment, his hand glowed gold. The hum stuttered, faltered, broke. The light collapsed inward, leaving only the silence of marble and heat. Celeste pressed her palms to her face, breath shaking out.
What did you just do?
He shrugged.
Closed the door.
She glanced at the vault, then at him.
You make that sound like routine maintenance.
Something like that.
He said.
This city leaks.
Despite herself, she laughed. A short, startled sound that made him smile in return.
Do you?
She started, then stopped.
Never mind.
Say it.
He said gently.
I was going to ask if you do this often.
Only when the ghosts get bored.
He said.
Or when the living wander too close to the wrong song.
Their eyes met, sunlight glinting in the space between them, the heat wavering like the world wasn't quite sure who belonged in it. Finally, she said,
Well, thank you. I think.
Don't thank me yet.
He murmured.
It makes them jealous.
She tilted her head.
You talk like someone who believes in that.
He smiled but didn't answer. Instead, he gestured toward the path.
Best to walk out slowly. The dead hate sudden exits.
Celeste stooped to pick up her camera. When she looked up again, he was gone. No footprints, no shadow, just a ripple in the air where he'd stood. The angel's wings gleamed clean and harmless once more. Celeste raised her lens, took one last photograph, and for just an instant, between light and blink, she thought she saw a flick of a fox's tail slip between the tombs. The dead have begun to speak in new ways, not with thunder, not with violence, but with memory. Sabine has reached through water and glass. The Krewe has felt the pattern tighten. Celeste has glimpsed the hidden work of the city, and something ancient has recognized that it is being seen. Every reflection is an opening. Every opening is a return. What was scattered is gathering. What was silent is learning how to breathe again. And the story is no longer waiting to be remembered. It is moving. Next time, the network deepens. The mirrors answer. The past refuses to stay where it was placed. And the cost of listening becomes impossible to ignore. The city is shifting. The house is awake. And the door that Sabine opened will not close quietly. We will continue.